And they're still driving by. And stupid people helping out in this. They follow me places I go, they yell stuff. It's horrible. They warned me in Walmart January 19, the extortion plan that would happen. Remember the truth, they'll try to implant lies, they'll try to steal everything you have in life. The agents are so corrupt, they'll try to steal a settlement. That's this. Okay. June of 19, I worked at Liberty House Share on Hills and Dales Road. Now, I had almost been murdered, so North Canton or Jackson police are sitting out front. And there is Ravenna officers in the back joking around with everybody. I walked up and he went, honey, the worst thing you ever did wrong. She bent over improperly. We can wipe that one out because they caught Melissa lying on and telling the kids to lie. My ex-daughter-in-law. And the kids stating they were lying on Thanksgiving of 18, that they just wanted the house for the judge's daughter, Michelle. They're documenting me games over time. Okay. So, where they only said, ooh, grandma, what's on the back of your legs, varicose veins, here, hold pap while I get changed, we were video chatting. They picked out a nightgown I didn't own, and she had him change it to my butt, seeing my butt, and they only seen the back of my knees. And Dave verified nothing bad happened that day. We were on the phone all day. Actually, video chatting. It was actually a sweet day. He defends me on tape, and where I was getting sick when he touched my drinks. Where I thought he was poisoning me, or he was roofing me and telling me to say stupid stuff, trying to frame me. And when I was sober, when I found out people were going to lie, I had everybody verify everybody was fine and da-da-da-da-da-da-da. Last night, some ass walked by my apartment real loud, screamed out, we got it set up, she'll never see those kids again. It's like, fuck you. Seriously, I'll go see those kids, I'll pick them up. They'll let them spend the night, they'll let me bring them over. John asked me to babysit Kenzie Harrington and Noah in, what was it, September, October 19? And I got text messages, if you want to see Riley, let me know, thanks. They're documenting me, gamers over 10, and my family spoke highly of me. I walk outside, some lady yells out, we all know her family spoke highly of her before. They don't care if she sees the kids. No, they don't. They just don't want me to report Dave. Now, Will at the Canton FBI, he did start a real threat of life custody case for an informant. Okay? Real protected custody at home. And our officer did speak to Dave within a few days, made a public statement at the food counter in Walmart 62 that asked Dave about those people threatening me. So by October 1st, 18, where I talked to him September 27th, 18, it was legal for them to surveillance me in my home, not before that. There's laws that keep everybody out of your house no matter what. But then, because it's a legal search and seizure. And I've already went through all the laws that stop all that. Then you don't have to worry about like March 24th, 22, 130. You framed her before? Yeah, I framed her before. Shame on you. I know I found out those people even raped her. I feel bad about everything. You should. These people from Ravenna are so dirty. By Christmas 18 sold a login, and they were saying it was $25 a pop. Everybody has it. It's horrifying. People watch this like a reality show, and it's real life. Like it's acting. And these people are really hurting me. That's where it's sick. And they just, like, what else are you going to do? Instead of being appalled and horrified that they've hurt me and they've seen it, and calling the FBI saying, what's wrong with the local FBI? Why aren't you getting down here and fixing this? I don't know if they're covering up Will's gross negligence of not looking into anything and just turning over the police, or what. I went to the Canton FBI a couple months ago, and I said I got a couple tapes from the case where I taped it too. And one of them was where Dave admitted he knew about the churches taking up money to hire men to kill me. The one agent said, he said he didn't know anything about it. He said it in the house during the protective life case. They have him. Some of the security guards that I had, they said they have enough evidence on these people. They don't even need her. Real protective life custody at home for an informant. They have Dave on a shooting night near Christmas 18, made a big mistake, met up side with the shooters. how they killed those people. Some guys said it was a mean stunt. Other ones said they got shot at running, and they said they killed two outside. There is a police report, sirens in the distance, and the male nurse's house to try to grab me, the one before 4490 John Thomas. The house before there was some kind of male nurse, he said. He came over and offered to help me mow my lawn when I first moved in, and he said, I seen you out here struggling with it. He said, I'll get my riding lawnmower. And he said, I'm a nurse and I work so-and-so place. I feel bad I don't know his name. But their house tried to grab me the next day when I ran from him. There's witnesses to everything. And then there's that real protective life case set up by the FBI, turned over to the police for protective life custody for an informant. Now, I did tell him that I was told on the night before and that my head was swimming to the point I could only remember the what a shame guy, that I couldn't even remember the guy that tried to kidnap me, tried to carjack me, and they could find him at Huntington Bank walking out around me, that either Dave called someone to call him, or the Pizza Hut lady called him. They could pull Huntington Bank surveillance when I opened the account and pull Dave's phone number. And they could get him, who he called, because I got a phone call to make, and he hung up. And then that guy shows up and threatens to knife me. Then make a beeline for the bank. Then the Pizza Hut lady comes up. I get paid to watch her. The banker's yelling at her, and that guy walks out around me. The guy that tried to kidnap me in front of Terry and tried to carjack me when Dave took off. So, yeah. And threatened to knife me. He was right by the ATM. They may even catch him saying it. So, I mean, there's evidence. Somebody just has to pull the tapes. Now, if they even go to Altman Hospital March 13th, 21 at 2:53 p.m., they come in and before that they had walked around Walmart. The case is called Karen's Will from the agency. It's not. It's the bad guys. And at first I told you I thought they named it that because I called Will God. I didn't know how to explain them. So I told everybody I prayed and left all my problems at God's feet and prayed God's will over everything. Give my problems to Will. So I thought they named the case that because I called Will a God. One of the security guards that I had, she prayed the FBI over her life. I did. But the guy that went to Paymer looks like that guy from the cooking show. And I couldn't even remember that. I couldn't remember anything but the what a shame guy. I think he underplayed it. There was never a moment, they said that was a stunt, and they did it on purpose, have a guy pretend he's a federal agent so Dave could front me in the truck before I called Will back. And then they drugged me up so I couldn't remember where my head was spinning. And I couldn't remember anything but the what a shame guy. And he's like, I can't help you unless you have a witness. And I'm like, oh yeah, I already asked Sarah. And she's ready to talk to you. Because I took a card out to the mall with his number in it and left it there. And then we went on to Apostolic Church of Barberton, and Paul Paymer gets in Dave's face. And my God, I had an FBI agent in my office. He's right there. I walk off. Dave comes in, let's go. And he threatens my life all the way home. And I'm holding on to the door, not knowing if I had to jump out. The next morning, there's no turning back, and my head's spinning again. And when I call Will, I'm crying like crazy. And the only thing I can remember is the what a shame guy. Out of all that horror, including the attempted kidnapping, the attempted carjacking, they could find the guy at Huntington Bank. Sarah told me she tried to call Will a couple times. He didn't return her phone calls. Why wouldn't you want to talk to a witness? That's a good one. Especially when you said she's ready to talk to you. I don't know what happened to Will. Reinhardt knew him. Within 10 days, he had Dave nailed. Dave made another mistake. Christmas 18, there's a gunshot and I'm hiding on the floor, and there's a video of it and him outside, and there's a police report that They killed two, he's outside saying they killed two men. We need someone to pull it, and then pull the house tape, and they got him dead to rape. Abigail Watkins, the Portage County prosecutor, she said, I don't care if they broke into an empty house. An intent to murder is still attempt to murder. Even if it was a meat stunt, it's extortion and racketeering. You can't let people scare people out of things. It's illegal. So I don't know. It cost me getting raped and tortured when I tried to help an Asian lady that said her husband died. And they tortured me. I caught a stock an old fat man between July and September 19, and they sold that online. And I told you there's over 50 people that have said they've seen that rape and torture. These people are ridiculous. They watch it like a reality show, like it's acting, and it's real life. And these people are really hurting me. Now, if they want to find people pretending they're FBI and framing the FBI for crimes, where 12/21/18 I was stabbed in the neck at the refrigerator. Foggy, hazy, dark, bright light, felt myself cry. Woke up, my head used to be round and it's dentted in, about that big, okay? Hair missing, another man's combs on the dresser, and I have a 4-inch bruise underneath my ribs with finger marks rippled into it. I get up and Dave's like, "You have an affair?" And it's like, I don't know what happened. There's a steak knife with bone, lead, and flesh in the sink. And I get back in bed and they're stabbing me with needles, and they're lying to people in Walmart. They're agents from the agency stationed in the courthouse. And they're using sodium pentothal. You don't use it as a lethal outlaw drug. You say yes to anything. You don't drug people. Only criminals do. Okay, March 13, 21, 2:53 p.m. They come in Altman Hospital. You can pull their surveillance. We're here for Clarence Will. The agency chipped her. The nurse points right at me. Is that why she's here? An old woman gets in my face. Be something if that was Judge Pete's wife. You can find out who that old woman is. The agency wanted the truth out of you. That's why they chipped you. Like, shut up, it's illegal. U.S. Supreme Court 18-10134, 2005 11th Circuit. Or U.S. government recognizes an illegal strategy for the truth. Our government. Used for paralyzed patients, medical field since 16. To communicate through cell phones, run robots, run computers, run video games. They're highly advanced. But it's an illegal strategy for the truth. They can play with it. Our government recognizes remote neuromonitoring electronic brain links as an illegal strategy. Our government does. All right. So I go in the back and I talk to Dr. Alanatinas. It's like, I may have a chip. He goes to leave. There's a man right outside my room. Some master neurochecker. He said, we already know. Now they had fake FBI badges to get in the back. They had asked me about the chip. They didn't know anything about it. So they used some Jack the Ripper to do it to me. Now the guy, okay, Darlene, my ex-friend, seen him. We were down there for Pie, December 16, 18 at Bob Evans. There was a tall white man, bald, red long beard, 6 foot, 200 pounds, huge legs, big guy, about 250 pounds, slung down in his chair. And he's sitting with a crazy blonde lady. He's like, I'm Kieran Sandler. Those are my men. He's a boys. And they're over there going like this at me. There's a white-haired man with a guy that looks like my son Joshy. And 2 other men are waving at me. Okay? Well, that guy shows up by January 3rd of 19. Bob Evans again. He yells at him, you idiot, you left your comb over there. He's like, you're lucky I was laying next to a naked lady. Alan combed her hair. It's his fingerprints embedded in my ribs. Okay? Well, he was in Wendy's in front of people in December. We ought to chip her. You can't do that. Why? She didn't do anything wrong. Her family don't care about her. They play with their victim. They're serial killers. Huh? Yeah, he was sitting in the restaurant when Dixie was there at a table with that other guy before December 9th, and there was some big guys by the pop station. Give your jewelry back. I said, give it back. They put a hit on my granddaughter's life that was just born. And I thought if I gave $18,000 in jewelry back, they'd leave me alone. I went home and told Dave I didn't want it. This is just an extortion ring and terrorist. They told Ed at the Oakland apartment in Canton, he's a maintenance man. December 9th, 21, 4 p.m. All the tapes before were them, not her. Wow, what's going on? It's a group of men doing as many crimes as they can to see if someone will actually stop them. There was one of my security guards from the case. Showed up December 9th, 21 at the Stark County Hunger Task Force distributing food in the back. They tape an audio in there. Comes out and said, no, he's white, he's bald with dark eyes. Makes my stomach turn seeing her place like this. We always knew the tapes before were them, not her, so we never said a word. Okay, there was investigators there by January 3rd of 22. And they said it's some guy named Eric, and they don't know who he is, that is trying to help him get away with this. Now, November 24th of 21, 8:40 a.m., Altman Stat Care on Wales Road, an Maslin officer in uniform. They work the case because they drive around trying to protect Dixie because they tamper with their vehicles. Okay, comes in a uniform. I'm here to watch him. He said there's a Steve and Eric stalking her. We don't know who they are yet. And it's finally got funny after everything they did to her. Nothing's admissible. No, it's not. They drugged me, told me to say crazy stuff, people ratting them out. I gave you the whole list. I've never been questioned or accused or prosecuted of wrongdoing. I have a perfectly clean record. So they're driving by. They run around like they can get money out of photoshopping. I was in Shine Salon in March. There were some people in there, and they said we could never look or listen to these people's tapes. They told the hairdresser they just want the involvement in this, and that the hairdresser came out and was talking to the other hairdresser. They know everything was Photoshopped. Well, they told them they were going to Photoshop everything. March 2nd to the 3rd, 21, 8:30, 10:30 at night. My car is bugged from the Protected Life case. They're going to put two clips together, put her in a porn. It's not her, it's them. So where they said you just simply wiped off some water with clothes on, you didn't expose yourself, you're good. They put a shower scene in the other room, I heard. Even admitted it was a shower scene. Where I'm like, I don't touch. I guess they got me being weirder than exposing weird. It made my stomach bleed for 4 days. They photoshopped it. A simple app on Facebook, you can circle face, tap it, and put another face on somebody's body, and I thought that's what they did. But then they kept describing it. It's like, the only time I touch myself like that is showering. I go outside and they're laughing. My car's bugged. She figured out what they did. It's a shower scene. They admitted to it. March 24th, 22, 1:30. There's a red apartment building, a heavyset man and his dark-haired whatever she is, been yelling lies and illegal surveillance, photoshopping, drug confessions, and I don't know him. While some old white man's out there at 1:30. You framed her before? Yeah, I framed her before. Shame on you. I know, I wish I wouldn't have done it. Those people even raped her. Well, they saw the login. People down the street from my client's house in Navarre, we all heard that man admit to frame her. Amy heard it in an apartment. The apartment building foreman second close to the fence came out and said, we all heard that bastard admit to frame her. I was working at another client's house. I went to leave, and one of the neighbors next to him, we all know that man, that bastard had framed you before. Some little kid 3 Saturdays ago in Dollar General was talking to Mom. Those bastards really framed her before, and she said, yeah, I told these people to stop saying stuff to her. I've never been questioned. No Miranda rights, no prosecution, and no trial. You can't just break in and stalk somebody and then Photoshop scenes in other rooms, and people know you're Photoshopping, and then lie that your agent's using sodium pentothal on people and have people roofie them and stab them with needles. That's crazy crap. And you can't use it against them. You go to jail for that crazy crap. They were, what was it, April 14th, 22, and Save a Lot on What? They really did have a man pretend he was FBI before she called that agent back so Dave could confront her in the truck. It was a stunt. Well, then they drunk me up so I couldn't remember. Those are bitch moves. Smart bitch moves. Bitch moves. But you don't remain quiet while they investigate when they already know, and they just set you up and then just frame the FBI for obstruction to justice. Mm-hmm. Yeah. These people aren't funny on ungodly levels. They run around, they keep saying they're gonna get money out of this. They ain't having money out of this. Like Officer Reinhardt Lusso. I could never look or listen to those tapes. It comes down to no matter what. It's illegal to be in somebody's home. It's illegal to look or listen. The only time they could be in there is when Will agreed to protect you. And when he started that protected life custody case, that's it. He said it'd be illegal. It would have cost him his badge. You're never allowed in somebody's home. January of this year, Fulton Road, 6 by 6th Street, Circle K gas station, first thing in the morning. Some ladies in there where they have these weird drug confession where he had orange size and grape size bruises I couldn't explain, and hand marks embedded in my arm for a cold wall. My head was spinning and I was dizzy. And I'm thinking, how am I getting so banged up? Because I was working outside, but I wasn't getting hurt like that. Came out, they were even abusing me under drugs, trying to make me say stuff. She didn't see a drug confession. And she was a second level toxic water guy lady. Because it goes from you just simply wipe something off. Like 4 or 5 people have seen that one. Nurse at Mercy Medical, the only thing they had you on was adjusting yourself. The guy said that's sick. She said, no, it's funny. She just simply wiped off some water with clothes on. Well, there was a lady in Rite Aid between April 1st and May 10th. You didn't expose yourself, you're good. Well, then there's people in Marks. We know what they could try to say, that one. And they're laughing at these people. And they're mocking them. Some guys like, we could have to shut down the nation. There's nothing to that. Okay? And they're mocking them. Well, when they put the shower scene in, I guess it goes being weird and then exposing weird. I'm like, it made my stomach literally pour out blood for 4 days. I had to lay down. I was literally pooping out blood. I was that upset. I almost died to save my family and lived through this concentration camp these people set up trying to let them go after me instead of them. And they told everybody it was the agency doing it to me. And I'll tell you what, even the Freemasons in Ravenna, my grandfather used to be a big shot in the early 1900s. Okay? And one of them came up to me. We always keep lineage of family. And we always take care of family. I have Freemason plates around me. My father was a Freemason. One of the older guys said, we know your dad can't help you anymore. My dad was dying. And so I think they are the ones that hired the security guards. So yeah. Between that and Pastor Mike at Faith Family Church in Ron Monhofer. They're such good men in that church. They had my church go shopping with me. There's 3,000 of us. They're amazing, good, godly men. And St. Mary's helped out, and Altman Nurses. And people where they sold it across the nation. I had a 2-mile-long parade at one point of people encasing me. Now, the Ravenna police, even in October 2020, told FedEx, we all know this woman's innocent. We all know. January 25th, 2019, it was an odd day. I told you about that. And Dave was acting crazy, and the police are at the end of the road. While I'm crying in my room by 8:30, 10:30 at night during the Protective Life case. Police, and they show up and said the police always knew she's innocent before. They were talking about it at the station. Some guy was bailing his guy out from a team and said, if she's innocent, we'll pay a fine or bail. He said, no, the police already knew she was innocent before. And that somebody else did something wrong before. They framed me. Even the child was saying that to her mom in Dollar General. Those bastards actually framed her. They did. The police knew January 25th, 2019. Everybody knows. And they still don't shut up. They run around like, we're gonna get money. For what? Dragging me up and tell me to say something stupid? Photos stalking me in my home? Photoshop me in ports and everybody knows it's Photoshop? Me okay. Held it and freeze over. But they keep selling it to little lowlifes. There's even revenge porn laws. The real police can't even tape in bedrooms and nudes. They can't share information of addresses, name, or the case, or they get fired. The real law is, who do you report the police agencies or anybody's surveillance in your home? Department of Justice, FBI, ICE, and local police department to arrest them. Under who do you report them to? I just did that. The FBI, ICE, police department, and the Department of Justice. In the local police department, FBI, ICE, and Department of Justice. Under the Department of Justice, it's not admissible. I'm sorry, they're driving by. It's not admissible under the Fourth Amendment right to privacy. It's a legal search and seizure. Further into the law, they can only surveillance you in your home under a threat of life, failure to notify of a threat of life before initiating and speaking to the other person in the home is abuse and misconduct. Failure to protect is abuse and misconduct. Because you can always tell someone you don't want their help. You're big boys and girls. It's the United States of America. We live in a free country. You can't do this. It goes into legal search and seizure. And everybody knows I'm photoshopped and darked up. That lady didn't see a drug confession. She said we made a big mistake being in her home. She's never said she did anything wrong before. And she was the second level toxic water lady. There's like 3 levels, 3 or 4. I've heard about them. I'm like, my God, don't ever let me see it. Yeah, because it didn't happen. Some investigator showed up November 29, 21. He comes in and says stuff and leaves when I need to know because these people are crazy. He's like, we already asked your family about you wiping off water with clothes on. Nobody thought anything of it. Well, of course not. They wouldn't have let me around the kids. They would have said something to me or they would have called the cops. Nobody did. Because it didn't happen. Just go like this. It's not wrong. It's wrong they photoshopped the showers, you know. Because real police, even in protected like custody, they can't tape in bedrooms, bathrooms, and nudes. And they can't share. Then you don't have to worry about photoshopping you. And everybody knows it's photoshopped. And they still shut up. It's become ridiculous. And all the people drugging me and telling me to say stuff before, and a big list of it, where I had bruises and my head was spinning. Cartel was in those needles. They framed the FBI in Walmart too, where agents from the agency stationed in the courthouse were using sodium pentothal. The case is called Karen's Well from the agency. They got fake badges of showing people, and they showed them at Auburn Hospital. Tape and audio. You can get those people pretending they're FBI and framing the FBI. There's evidence places, but somebody has to do their job. And everybody's like, where's backup? There's no excuse they haven't got her out of here yet. No, there's not. What happened to Will? And I'll tell you what, Will had Dave dead to rights in 10 days. He made a mistake. I walked out of the bedroom or bathroom. I heard talking outside. Okay, and I'm like, who's he talking to? I look out a crack of the front door. He never seen me. For Dixie and the baby are next. We'll teach Josh a lesson. He's so angry he cut his hands off, so he couldn't walk anymore. Before there's a list, and they'll move on to who they want next. And he walks around the house. He never seen me. I never said anything to him. I googled the FBI Canton office, called it. I'm sure Will was legit. And she yells out, well, he's got a list. I'm working on it. He came up and arrested him for the intent to kill his son. And got me out of there in 10 days. And then I went and I almost been shot driving, faced the 6 stalkers, being abducted and chipped, and people going Nazi and pretending they're feds. They can't sit back and let this happen. You know, I'm not mad at them. They even said that Michelle, Dave's girlfriend, was one of their daughters. That's why they were hurting him. I'm like, my God, even the Freemasons fell for it. And here it's Judge Pete. Retired Judge Pete looks like a little white Santa Claus, friends with Ludick, by the undercover police hopped out. It's not funny. Everybody fell for it. And I apologized to him on another tape, but when you're telling it, you can talk to the FBI. And people are running around saying that. Why would you think it was that? And then they have fake badges. Exactly. But they need to fix this. Reinhardt said Will's retired. I don't think someone said he just left me on his desk while hell broke loose. And I lived in a concentration camp. They need to fix this. And they need to get me out of here. Because what comes next is the field south of Ravenna cut my face up and stabbed me to death. They play with their victim. Just like you can't beat a single woman by herself. You can't have her state what happened up there and then you're raped and tortured. Just like the chipping did. I'll tell you what, last Thursday, I had my client in Mercy Medical, another client, and 4 men with computers came in. And they showed up in Wendy's with them. Not Wendy's, but Walmart. After they chipped me. They were following me around, even in Belgium. Okay? They show up and they went, that's the one we use for an example how to process people. Now we know it works, we can do it. The legal way to process people is extortion ring, it's not the law. It's murder. And there's 4 men with the computers, and that tall white guy with black hair and a beard. They tape in that office. In the hospital, they get him. Well, I get home, and that weird man that said he left his coma over there, that he even knew I was innocent, yelled out, what do you mean they're going to process more people like this? We only let it do it to her because no one cared about it. I was vulnerable and alone. And they knew I was innocent and willing to die for my family. So they let them hurt me and hopped up. Somebody needs to do something about this. I was proven innocent in 18 and 19 through the state case. The police work. Um, like that lady said, we all know her family spoke highly of her before. They did. Someone needs to